Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the First Class, Second Place podcast. I'm your host, Jason Enrique, and we got some first-class guests up in the building today. But before we continue, I want to remind everybody that we're live in Bravery Studios in Garfield, New Jersey. Shout out to Najee Behind the Glass. Hope everybody's doing well. And I also have Bravery Royalty here as far as I'm concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, I was a guest on their show not long ago, and I'm so glad that they're here. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the Educated Brothers are in the building. What is going on, fellas?
What up, y'all? How y'all feeling? We out here. You know what I'm saying? World traveled over here to the right.
Listen. I just got off the flight.
You just come back from London, bro.
Listen, I was in, I took a Euro trip.
Oh, okay.
I was in Amsterdam first, stopped in Paris for a couple of days, and then finished it off in London.
I don't know why, but all of a sudden, Scotty doesn't know to start.
Yo! Me scusi.
Scotty still doesn't know.
Shout out to Scotty.
Shout out to Fiona.
Oh, man. And rest in peace to Michelle Trachtenberg, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. I was actually thinking the other day, man, there's a lot. Matter of fact, this is going to kind of tie in, and then we'll get into the show a little bit, but I just wanted to get this out before I forget. So, my boy Dez, me and him like the movie Good Burger. And there's a lot of shit that has happened since that movie premiered. Absolutely. You got Dan Schneider that got canceled. Keenan became the biggest star on SNL. Kel's become a has-been. Sinbad had a stroke. Kurt is dead.
Kurt going jail.
He fell in the grinder, yes. And yeah, there's just so much that has happened. And Carmen Electra's still fine as far as I'm concerned.
Which is crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, I saw her, when she was on
the last time I saw her was on the Last Dance documentary when she was talking about her escapades with Dennis Rodman. Yeah. And all I kept on thinking was like, damn, she still looked good.
Listen, her Twitter popped up a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, she's an OF girl now.
For real?
That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me.
Go figure.
You got to do what you got to do, especially with these tariffs.
Oh, my
Short
goodness.
for terror. All right, but anyway, fellas, I feel like I'm already getting into the formula of your guys' show, which is like you guys just go off the hinge and talk about whatever. But that's what I love about the show. But I want to get back to basics real quick. So I just want to know a little bit about you guys first individually, and then afterwards kind of tying together of how the show came about. So let's start with you, Lashawn. Like, so a little bit about where you were born and raised, and you know all that good stuff.
So when people usually ask me that question now, I usually just say Jersey. I moved a lot as a kid, but typically when people ask where I'm from Newark.
Okay.
Shout out to Brick City. I spent the first couple of years of my life there. My mom was able to come to some good fortune, so she got us up out the hood.
Okay.
We lived in Woodbridge for close to 7 years.
Okay.
I think being that I was around 8, 9 years old when we moved, so those next few years living in the suburbs kind of molded me into the person I am. It's funny. I used to joke about how when we were younger, I'd be around my suburban friends and they'd be like, yo, you mad hood. And then I get around my hood friends, they'd be like, who's this white boy? like, why the fuck is he listening to all his EDM music?
Nah, but you know what? It's kind of similar to me where like I grew up in Hawthorne, and it's right in the middle of like Patterson and Ridgewood. So I feel like I got the best of both worlds. I got the streets and then I got like the white stuff, you know. But I just it just kind of molded me into the person that I am. That's Absolutely. Why I feel like I'm pretty well spoken, but at the same time, don't fuck with me. So.
And it's funny you said that because when I turn up on people, they're like, dumbfounded, like, who is this guy? Like, we didn't expect this at all. But you from those areas, you got to know how to protect yourself.
And looks can be deceiving because people look at me and they wouldn't expect me to be this big hip hop head that I am either. So, but what about you, Dante? Like the early beginnings.
Early beginnings. I was actually born and raised in New York, Brooklyn, New York, more specific.
Brooklyn.
You know, I'm from there. But now I'm at a point in my life where I think I've lived out in Jersey longer. So depending on who you ask, I'm more of a Jersey dude. It really depends on who you ask. But yeah, moved out from Brooklyn. I didn't move around as much as Sean did though. So my story is pretty like.
And you didn't come into fortune like his
no fortune. It was one of those. My dad was one of those dudes who just showed me growing up like, whatever you do, make sure you're taking care of the family. So like he was always working 12 hours. He was working tech for Chase Bank. He was working at Chase Bank, doing a bunch of like behind the scenes work. So it was a lot of overnight stuff. So he just taught me from a very young age, like, yo, you gotta look out for your family. So it's like now that I'm getting older, it's like the job that I have now, it's like advocating for myself. I'm starting to understand things a little bit better. But like, yeah, that's one, Father's Day right around the corner and shit. So it's one of those where it's like, I want to give him an early shout out because like, that's my boy right there. You my boy, Blue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Unfortunately, my father is no longer with us. He passed away several years ago. Thank you. But I feel like, it's sad that he wasn't around to see some of the things that I've been able to do in my life since his passing. But I don't know if you guys necessarily believe in this kind of thing. I'm trying to, especially being a little bit more open-minded these days. But long story short, I like to think that he's from up above, like, seeing everything that all of his kids are doing and all the things that we have been progressing and doing things a better life. Like, I think that now that I've got into podcasting, now that I got into acting, a whole bunch of other things, he's not here in the physical, but spiritually he's enjoying and being proud of his son nonetheless.
That's all you can really ask for, man.
I follow that too.
I as well, because I like to when somebody can be that big of an influence on your life. Yeah. That even if they're not here in the physical form, they're still always with you. Mm-hmm. So, and typically those are people that are really good to you as they're here. So, because there's some bad people.
Yo, cherish who you got, yo. For real.
So, now, before what you guys did, as before like podcasting and like survival jobs or anything like that, like I will start with you, Dante. Like, what did you have any dreams and aspirations growing up as a kid? Like, was there certain things or a specific thing that you wanted to do when you grew up that it worked out, or life just pivoted a different way?
It's crazy. When I was younger, I wanted to be an actor.
Okay.
Right.
I thought you were about to say a ballerina.
Not quite in that realm.
I wanted to be a dancer.
Trying to get my plies on and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I've always wanted to be like into form of acting because I've always loved movies, TV shows growing up. I could quote, like you was bringing up Good Burger, like quoting that movie verbatim because I loved it so much. So I would always play like my action figures and I'd create stories. So it would never be like just fighting. Like there'd be a storyline, like they got dialogue and all of that. But as I got older, like I'd be in school plays and I'd love it and everything. Mm-hmm. And I got older and I just didn't believe that I could do it. Like I'd see other people on TV and stuff. So I don't know if I could do that. So it would stay in my imagination. Yeah. And that's kind of how it locked away when I was younger.
Yeah, and I resonate with that because when I was younger, I did want to be an actor. Like I even said plenty of times on the show, I saw Bruce Willis in Die Hard 3 and I wanted to be an actor ever since then. But I was always pretty shy. Like I didn't even like taking pictures. I didn't really think too highly of myself physically. So then afterwards, I decided that maybe I want to pivot into directing. And I did direct a little short project, nothing crazy or anything. And it turned out okay. It wasn't the greatest, but ultimately I'm saying that all to say this is that I think that I was using the wanting to be a director as an excuse to not wanting to be what I really wanted to do, was be in front of the camera and act and be on stage. And now when I gained the confidence and I shed that, now I've really went full throttle into the acting thing. Like the directing thing was just, it was fun, it was cool and everything, but ultimately I don't think that was my passion. I think that was just an excuse to not do what I really wanted to do. And I'm glad that I shed out of that. So I resonate with what you were saying. When you telling that's exactly what it brought up to me. And what about you, Lashawn? Like growing up, like what was on your mind?
Truth be told, I wanted to be a rapper.
Okay. I remember those years.
I used to rap in middle school.
Okay. What was your rap name?
I had multiple.
Which one stuck the most?
It was LRJ.
Okay. Isn't that a clothing brand?
LRG. So my initials are LRJ. So it was just simplified.
Okay.
Big head.
You should have stuck with Big Head because afterwards when people are like, hey, Big Head.
I wasn't thinking like that when I was younger. Silos and
Silos Green Jr.?
It's a long ass story about Silos, so we're not going to get into that. But like I said, I had multiple rap names. Okay. And then what happened was I got to a point in high school, and Dante was around at this point, where I felt like my rhymes weren't progressing enough as I was becoming a young adult. I love hip hop so much that I figured I shouldn't disrespect the art and then how bad some of it was starting to get. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just walk away from it and be a fan. I initially then tried to turn that into like the business aspect of music. I wanted to be an A&R, search for talent. But when you have a drive to, you feel like you should be the man in front of the camera per se. I kind of felt like that was probably the wrong avenue to go after, because then I would feel like I would start like trying to jump in front of my artists, like Diddy, want to be all up in videos.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
But so
keep the baby oil.
But and coming out of that and realizing that that probably wasn't the avenue. I got into poetry because I was still able to rhyme a little bit, and then I just got to a point in my life where I wanted to start doing anything that I felt like I could do. And then I started to realize that I like to be in front of the camera. I won't classify myself as an actor, but I do have.
You're performative.
So it started off with Vine skits?
Oh shit!
It started off with Vine skits. The Vine skits turned into little Instagram shorts, and then Dante and I eventually created a group to do little skits and videos, which we're going to start up again eventually. Shout out to Comb Your Beard, ENT. Shout out to Comb Your Beard, ENT. We was doing the thing.
Comb Your Beard, ENT. I'm sorry.
The way that name even came up is just hilarious. Like, because he used to say a phrase, comb your beard. Like basically shut up, but that was his version of it. So one day we got together, he was like, yo, if we do this, what we gonna call it?
Comb Your Beard Entertainment in association with Say With Your Chest Network.
Listen. Man, we hit a stride, but things in life happen. So we slowed down a little bit. And then Dante and I were literally I never forget how all the podcasting came to fruition. We were literally at dinner with our friend group. Dante had just started to tell me that he was about to start taking acting on full-fledged. I'm like, well, I'm about to start a podcast. You probably need the camera experience anyway. Let's do this shit together. And rest is history. We started off in my room. My room.
I heard that episode.
Yeah, my room. Then
episode one, season 0.
Shout out to the Hennessy, because that definitely was your guest that night. Because I do my research and I did listen to the episode. I was like, compared to how you guys were back then to now, talk about progression, my man.
It's wild. It's wild to think about it, because it's like, the first 2 years was nuts, bro. Because we started off in the room in New Brunswick. Then we were in my living room in Ledgewood. But then I moved to Edison, and then I had my brother live with me, so his ass would be walking while we were shooting. So all you would hear is the creaks upstairs. I had to text him on the side like, "Yo, stop moving!"
We bought these mics off Amazon. We built our program on the laptop.
Dude, I did all of that as well before we came to Bravery Studios. And it's funny because I tell this story all the time with my first episode, where I just needed to get it out. I don't care if it's a minute or 5 hours. I just need to do this. And if I don't do this, then it's never going to happen. And as soon as I put that episode out, I said, okay, I'm a podcaster now. Now I got to ride this train. Now fast forward now to 182 episodes. Here we are. But the part that I never tell people.
Love that.
Thank you.
Love that.
Now the part that I never tell people is that it was a 5-minute episode, but it felt like 3 hours because my dog kept on crying and scratching at the door because he wanted attention.
Let me in.
Let
me in,
what you doing in my room? Come on, man. Let me in. Stop playing.
Don't make me bark.
Yeah, I mean, I would have preferred the bark, but him just crying like a little biatch, man.
Yo, when dogs cry is the worst.
Oh my god,
because they be mad loud. I know. Like, oh, shut up.
It's a mixture of me being mad and angry. Like, I feel bad for him, but I also want to kick him out the window too.
Like, yo, I'm doing something.
Yeah.
Like, for right now, you want to sleep all the time. Every chance you get a chance to take a nap. Now I'm doing something, you feel the need to start scratching at the door and all that. Come on, bro.
Yeah, so that I never shared that with anybody before because I just figured it was minuscule. But yeah, those are the things that you have to go through.
Yeah,
and the footsteps and everything. I understand where that comes from.
And I remember how it started too, because like we just be chatting.
Yeah.
Like when we have conversations, they're always organic. It starts at a small seed of like, yo, it could be something like, what's the weather going to be like today? And before you know it, we talking about why the world spins on its axis. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's just always how
it's just very off the cuff.
Always. Yeah. It's always how it's been.
And I got that sense because not only from watching the episodes, but when I came on the show, and again, thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
I had such a blast. So like you guys were just doing, and then afterwards I noticed that the mics and the camera was on. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, wait, do we start already? You guys don't have no intro or anything like that. Like
that's usually how it is, and it's funny because the last episode we shot together, the topic was supposed to be about basketball. Somehow the topic ended up on evolution.
Yep. Yo, because I literally had it typed up in my phone. Here's what we're gonna talk about. Go over it with Sean. Cool. Off the cuff. We out.
Most of the time it's my fault.
Soon as we start, he was like, "Yo, you want to hear a crazy ass theory?" I was like, "Wait, what?" And then he started with the meteorites. Check out the latest episode we did together, and you'll see.
Listen, most of the time it is my fault that we go off the rails.
Yes.
I'll take that. And that plays into, like, you know, going back to your question initially to, you know, what got me into where I'm at now is like I have a big head, a lot of thoughts in my head. When I was younger, I used to feel like unheard, so I would keep a lot to myself.
that's a big reason why I started the show. But continue.
I would keep a lot to myself and not really speak on the things that I wanted to speak on. As I started to get more confident, start to believe in what I was doing as a person. Naturally, you know, I started to talk more. I talk a little bit too much. I ain't gonna lie. I can admit that. But
You got the perfect platform for it.
seriously,
They can't tell you nothing.
you can't talk. You talk a lot. Start a podcast. But it got to a point where I was still in my early 20s, to where I was sitting there. Football wasn't gonna work out. Trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life. I thought about the acting thing, but then what steered me away kind of from attacking acting full-fledged is that I wouldn't want to be in a situation where I'm forgetting lines, not memorizing scripts, and then, you know, directors or, you know, producers see that and then try to, like, stray away from me.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, what's the next avenue? Jumped into poetry. I still write every now and then, but you had a lot of my poetry was coming from dark places. So once life started getting better, it's like I can't keep writing about this dark shit. This is no dark shit going on.
The crazy thing is that I think there has to be a balance because, you know, you're writing that dark shit, but at the same time, you're using that as your outlet. Because if you keep all that shit bottled in, like it could have, I don't know, God forbid, anything, you know, you would have imploded or you would have some kind of mental breakdown, whoever the case may be. Because I guess what I'm getting at is that it's a good thing that you found a platform, both of you guys, to basically just talk about what you want to do. And, you know, speaking, you know, that's the thing that people are saying now, speak your truth, speak truth. I'd rather speak the truth because at least I'm keeping myself accountable. But that's neither here nor there. So the point that I'm getting at is, you know, when I first started the show, I knew I just wanted to do podcasting because I wanted to be on radio like way back in like the early 2000s, and it just didn't pan out. And, you know, podcast became the wave. And initially it was going to be like a very Jersey centric type of thing because I'm very proud to be from the state. And I think that we have too many talented people in the state that don't get enough notoriety or anything like that. But then the more I got into it, I started talking more about everything that I held in, and I started to resonate with the people that I had on my show. And for the first time in a long time, I felt like I was not able to shut up or keep silent for anybody else. Now I'm actually telling my shit the way that I feel, everything that I have kept in for so long, and this, that, and the third, a lot of dark shit. And all of a sudden I have become, by no fault of my own, a mental health advocate. Like that was not what I was shooting for when I first started the show, but now that's what people have known me for. And I think that was a nice trajectory to go in because now I've kind of looked at it. I'm kind of looked at as a pillar for some people of not being afraid to talk about what you're feeling. And I think that especially us Hispanics, like we have this Latino machismo. I think I just made that up right now, but but like we can't show weakness, we can't show emotion because that's not what our fathers and grandfathers did. So like we held in a lot of shit, and you know it's also ironic that we're now in June, you know, Men's Mental Health Awareness, and you know it's also prevalent to talk about these conversations, and I'm glad that we are able to create platforms in order to do that.
I think we're all cut from the same cloth as far as our culture is not creating avenues for us to be as open as we could be as men. I can vividly remember times when I was younger, I used to try to speak my emotions out, and all the guys in my family would just be like, man, shut that shit up. Like, toughen up, you all right. It was always looked at as like a soft and sensitive thing. Like, Dante's my witness. When I used to say certain shit in high school, people would just look at me like, oh, this dude is crazy. like, what the fuck is he talking about at this young ass age? Like, well, why are you going through this right now? But you know, as you get older, you go through it. You control it a little bit better. You you have a proper outlet into where you're not letting it out the wrong ways. Because there was a point in my life where I was just like, fuck it. No one cares. I'm just going to keep it to myself. But that hurts you more because now you're holding it in, and then it comes out in the wrong way, like potentially punching somebody in the face for throwing a book at you.
A 16-page driver's ed book at you. But, it's a whole nother story.
That's a story in itself.
Now, Dante, like, are you not pursuing acting anymore? Is that
no, that's still on the plate.
Oh, that's still on the
I was
plate.
just telling the first half of it where
Got
it's like
you.
I didn't have the drive to do it because for me it was like, nah, I can't.
Okay.
So what happened for me was I had an epiphany moment around like 27, 28, where I was working a job and I hated it. Like I was working a nonprofit. It's right out of college because I graduated college like 24, 25. So I was working there for a bit, thought money would get better, and it wasn't. So I left, but I didn't know what the hell I was gonna do. I was like, I don't know how this shit gonna work. I just know I can't do this for the next 50 years or however long I'm supposed to be working for. So then I just started exploring stuff that I've always wanted to do, but just didn't think was for me. So like I took an acting class. I was like, fuck it, balls to the wall. Like worst case scenario, I'm just not any good. I took one acting class and I was like, yo, I'm not great at this yet, but I can get better at this. Like this is what I thought it would be like. Like I thought it would be just like this.
Right.
So I did it, and then I started doing the backstage process. Started to audition in certain places. Started doing it more. Now I'm doing a lot of off-Broadway productions, working with a couple of companies, like as a recurring like actor in certain things here or there.
We might have to talk soon.
Yeah, and it's like there's things that I want to still be a part of, like goals that I'm still trying to accomplish. But I'm learning now, the older I get and the more focused on what I actually want, which is to like dive into more into just being creative. I'm letting go of a lot of the other accolades that I thought I wanted. Like, oh, I want to be in a blockbuster film to make millions of dollars. It's like, now I want to be in something that makes people feel. And when people come to see me perform, they tell me like, oh, that made me cry. That made me laugh. That made me this. And to Sean's point about like mental health and everything, I never really expressed myself. I was the one that always was okay because I never said nothing. But check engine light going off, my lights is flickering, and I'm the only one sitting there. No, I'm good, y'all. Don't worry about it. I'm all good. But I never said nothing. So acting for me became an avenue where I could just be whatever emotion I'm feeling. If this character is called to be angry, I'm allowed to be angry, and no one can tell me no, because that's what you're supposed to do. Your character's supposed to be happy, go ahead and be happy. If you want to be sad, go ahead, because I've heard it before too. Man up. Like, you need to get over that. Like, it's not that serious.
Right. Yo, and it's this is why you said earlier that you think that we're cut from the same cloth, because you telling that, not only was I able to resonate with it, but you basically answered whatever question that I had coming towards it. So you already in the express lane. So you answered it tremendously. So like the only thing that I could do now is just share, and I agree with what you're saying, because like it's funny how like when it comes to the acting, like you just kind of really apply from even moments from like memories from your past and stuff like that. I'll give you an example to give it context. So I remember there's a movie that I'm in where you don't see me but you hear my voice. It's actually called Our Keys. And it actually just got accepted into a Long Island Film Festival, so congratulations.
Oh, shout out to that. That's big news. That's big news.
Yeah, and ironically, it premiered on my birthday, but I couldn't go there because it was on my birthday. I'm not going to go to the movie during my birthday. I'm trying to get litty like a titty. But anyway, so anyway, the point that I'm getting at is when I did the scene, it was very brief. Took no longer than 5 minutes, but the character is my character was the dad of the main character. Spoiled rich kid, is in love with somebody that the family doesn't approve of, this and the third. It sounds like Honora. That's what it sounds like. And so basically my character just had this whole monologue where I was talking about how I disapprove of her, and like, if you keep this relationship, we're gonna cut you off from the family, this, that, and the third. And for me, what I needed to do was I ironically needed to channel my father. I needed to channel, I needed to channel my father, because when I guess what went through my thought process back then, it was where my father was angry at me. And he gave me a phone call, but I couldn't pick up because I was doing God knows what. And then he just left me like a really, really angry, bad voice message that I think I've shared it on the show before, but it wasn't pleasant. It was something that stuck with me for a while. And I guess I just channeled whatever rage he had at that particular moment in that scene. And then afterwards I was able to apply it to my character, and it worked. Did it all in one take. And, like I said, you can't see me in the film, but you hear me, and I think people will be able to resonate with what I was saying on the movie.
Yeah, Yeah, because like even in the scenes where it's like, for example, one of the most recent plays I was in, I was an older brother.
Okay.
My sister was like, strung out and all of that stuff. She was trying to come back into the home. So the character, you're protective because it's your sister, but at the same time, like, yo, you're strung out and have been for years. So I had to channel. I've never had that like conversation with my sister, but I had to think of, if this was my sister, how would that feel if I saw something like this? That was the first time I ever cried in a production ever. But it was because I tapped into like exactly what you said. Like I tapped into something that for me was real. So it made it feel more real. It's like the expression was, I won't call it a good expression, but it feels nice to express, and you don't feel anything afterward, like, feel guilt or like feel judgment. It's just like, no, you're feeling something in that moment, and that's how it would look if you cared about somebody, but they're not doing what's best for them, and you actually love this person because they're your sibling, they're your sister. So it's like, I really enjoy acting as a whole just because of what it allows me to do on a creative space.
Right. Now, staying on the creative side, for both of you guys can either answer. So obviously you guys are creatives. When it comes to your families, do you guys come from creative families yourself, or you guys consider the outliers? And if so, how does that jive with the families?
I've always been the outlier in my family. I've always been different.
You're the proverbial black sheep.
Classified as weird. Lashawn looking at the sky when he was younger, because I was always in my thoughts.
Okay.
I always thought bigger than what our situation was. I felt like we could have definitely made something more than what we were doing, and I still feel like that now. Like, my biggest thing I tell myself every day, like, as long as you're dreaming about something and you're alive enough and you have the energy to do things, go after it. So, when you come from hood families, because my story is not that different from a lot of other people. When you come from hood families, typically there's this mindset to where things are supposed to be a certain way. You're supposed to live that code and understand that you operate the way you operate because of where you're from. I never allowed myself to allow that to be and define who I am. And I've always been looked at differently now to where we're at now, to where since the world is so much closer, smaller, a little bit more open to new ideas, to where now things that I'm doing and been doing most of my life is just seen as like the new norm. So my family's starting to come around to it a little bit, but every now and then I'll do something and they'll just be like, "Fuck is wrong with him?" It's simple shit too. Like when I was in Paris last week, we were eating escargot.
That shit is good.
Little humble brag.
No, listen. Listen.
I'm just being petty Jay right now. I'm sorry.
You're absolutely right, but I had to explain this to somebody at work today.
Okay.
Klarna is your best friend. If you want to travel, Klarna. I travel on payment plans.
Pay shit on time. We talked about that on the episode.
Listen,
I do like Klarna.
Listen, I travel on payment plans. I'm not afraid to tell people that, because the world is meant to be seen.
Man.
Yeah, seriously, the world is meant to be seen.
And also, let's hope they get us. You get a sponsorship from them.
Seriously,
what's going on?
Shout out to Klarna. Hey, Klarna, I paid my shit. That's why y'all keep letting me use it.
That's gonna be the commercial. Hey, Klarna, I paid my shit.
TMs. No, but so like now since how I was growing up, and now I'm at a point in my life now that I'm just comfortable with who I am, I'm open to trying things. And since I'm open to trying things, my family is just like a little resistant to it, to where now I'm just showing them what's happening and how much fun I'm having doing these things, and then just trying to present that to them so they can see that it's more than what they think it is.
Yeah. How about for you, Dante?
I'm not the outlier. I in my immediate family, yeah. Like, I'm the first one to really go out and branch out in my immediate family.
Okay.
But, like, I have an older cousin. She actually sings with John Legend. She was on tour with Beyonce not too long ago. I got a cousin who... He says that he's a retired.
I should get her on the show. The
Yo,
fuck y'all doing?
yeah,
I'm just gonna fuck with you.
You talking about humble brag?
I was about to say that. Her name is Natalie.
Dante said, "We just ordinary people."
Listen, like, she know John Legend on some, like, he was at her husband's, like, birthday party. Like, they celebrate together. Like, but I'm getting off topic. Her name is Natalie, if y'all want to follow her on Instagram.
John, come to Bravery.
Natalie Amani. Natalie.Amani is on Instagram.
Bring Chrissy.
I got other cousins who have done like, one is a singer. He's been but he does like, he travels, he does wedding singing. Think of like Adam Sandler when he was the wedding singer, one of those kind of things. Yeah. So he does those. I got another cousin who he's a retired rapper, air quote, but he's nice as fuck. Okay. But he's just he got into the corporate world, so now he likes that money that's like here, but he's still got the skills. And then I got my little cousin. She just got into. She's doing everything that like I'm doing now in terms of like having my hats in a lot of different things. Yeah. She's doing that at a way younger age, and I love that for her. She's doing she's really into photography. Shout out to Diana. Her Instagram is Diana Photos. She's on there. She does nails, she does eyelashes, she do the whole nine because she's like, I'm not trying to do that whole corporate thing. So I mean the outlier, not really, but one of the few in my family who have branched out. Majority do like, streamline stuff, odd jobs here or there, but like probably like 6 of us do our own shit. Some of us a little bit more on the successful line than others, but it's always a journey. Yeah. No, because I've said this plenty on my show plenty of times, and Najee knows this, that I'm definitely the outlier in my family on both sides, with the exception of a cousin now that's actually in California doing the whole acting thing now, but she's 18, 19, so she's still pretty young. Mm-hmm. But during my age, my era, nobody. Like, there's nobody that sings. There's nobody that does anything in the arts. Everybody's just regular 9 to 5. So that definitely made me the outlier. Mm. And for a lot of the reasons that you guys explained of how, how fucking weird I would come off and this, that, and the third, like that's, I get it. I know what that feeling is like, I'm lashing out for a reason. I need to find. It's funny because I'm trying to find things that is actually healthy for my mental, and then I get punished for it, and it gets taken away from me. Like, what the hell gives? It's like, you want me to do better for myself. I'm trying. And you're just like, no, give me that. Thanks.
I remember telling my mom I wanted to go to an art school before college, and the way she cursed me out before, she's like, you're not going to fucking art school.
Because the first thing they thinking is, where's the money? Yeah. Where's the money?
Exactly. Yeah.
I remember hearing, because I went to school and everybody told me, that degree, you ain't going to make no money with that degree. And if I had to listen to them, it's like, yeah, if you thought that the trajectory of where I was going, I wouldn't make any money, you'd probably be right. But being a jack of all trades is amazing because you can as long as you're a quick learner, you can do a bunch of different shit. As long as you can learn quick, learn from your mistakes quick, you'll be all right.
And that's, to me, the sign of a true artist, because real artists don't put themselves in a box. Mm-hmm. I mean, if that was the case, I would just stick to podcasting and say fuck acting. But no, I'm doing both, and who knows what could happen in the future.
Never know, yo.
Yeah,
shit always works out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna do stand-up comedian. I can't do that.
You need a routine for some shit like that.
Truth be told, I keep having dreams that I'm on the stage telling jokes, so I might tackle that sometime in the near future.
Hey,
but you are a funny motherfucker. I will say that,
and I appreciate that.
Do it, son.
But with stand up, you have to find your niche.
Yeah,
like I don't want to be all over the place. I want to, bring it down and then have like somebody will come to my show and knowing that they're going to get a certain thing from me. So I'm trying to figure out what that would be before I ever try it.
I actually thought that if I would be a comedian, my style would probably be a little bit more self-deprecating than observational. Mm-hmm. But the problem with that is that I know too many people that, if I did the self-deprecating humor, they'll be all like, oh my God, why would you say that about yourself? Even if you're joking around, you're still putting it out there in the universe. Like, shut your kumbaya ass up. Shut the fuck up.
That's a joke.
The tongue's a powerful weapon. Yeah,
I know. Don't make me use it on you.
That's funny.
Yeah, but so what? I mean, what was? So as far as like the podcast, when it comes to Educated Brothers, I mean, you guys got into the inception about it a little bit, but I guess naturally 2 things. 1, where did the name come from? And 2, what do you guys see it going from where it is now to further? Because starting with how you guys did with the footsteps in the background and stuff to now in a professional studio, I just feel like you can't go, it's just going to go up from there. Mm-hmm. So what more do you want to see from the show going forward?
If I had to say the origination, that's the word? Yeah, so that sounds about right. the refrigerator. The origin of our name is funny as hell that I'm fucking this up, because the origin of our name came from the fact that we're 2 educated brothers who have conversations, even though most of us, me, I don't know how to just say origin. That's where it came from. We both are the first and correct me if I'm wrong, but the first in our families to graduate with the 4-year degrees.
Yes.
Nice.
On both of our respective families. That's why if you look at our logo, we both got our diploma. We're holding it out. We got our
Yeah.
caps and gowns because we're proud of that. You know, there's something to be
As you
proud
should
of.
be.
And when it comes to the show, like when Sean and I had the conversation about comb your beard ENT, like that's how this like the seed got planted. My mindset was on Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler in the sense of no matter what production he comes out with, his people are always on there. Whether it's a
Yes.
small role,
Yeah.
big role, medium role, whatever. If you rock with him, he's gonna have a place for you on his shit that he created.
I always said, those guys, I may not know their names, but as long as Adam Sandler keeps making movies, those guys always have a job.
Always. So we was always talking, yo, it's not about me doing well and me bringing you along, or you doing well and you bringing me along. It's about us doing well. So if I'm eating, we eating.
Yeah.
If the podcast blowing up, we blowing up. If I get known from a play, yo, come to the premiere. It's always gonna be, yo, dog, we going through this journey together because we talked about that already. And the biggest thing that I like about having my brother being somebody that we could work together, ain't none of that bullshit of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you this and I'm gonna do something else. Like, we straight shooters. And because of that, I know like we see this joint going to the moon and back. Like, we're talking merch. We're talking if we have a way to get our own studio. Najee, don't worry. Y'all coming with us too. If there's a way that we could blow up, if that means that we blow up here and now Bravery gets blown up and now everybody's podcast is blown up, it's all about for us just paying it forward because we've had people look out for us. We ain't asked them to do it, and they just did it. Drop gems, help us out whenever we needed it, people in our lives. So it's always just been about the camaraderie, building this shit to be the next empire if it's so be it. If not, yo, we still bros that's going to rock out and keep grinding until we get to what we're looking for.
Because just off, like I said, off the original idea of us starting the podcast, we already were doing the skits and the short videos. Originally, the podcast was supposed to balloon into like a production company for me. When we bought the mic, I remember telling Dante this. When we bought them, there's a reason why my Instagram account, the profile picture is the profile picture it is. That was supposed to be the logo for my production company.
Oh, okay.
When we bought those microphones, I was already reaching out to people saying like, "Hey, do you guys want to come start a podcast here?" Blah blah blah. But obviously, as you're progressing through stuff, things become different, and we took a different turn. So now where we're at, every year we progress into something new. So like Dante said, we start, putting out merch. We start monetizing. We start going after guests that we felt like we probably could have never had on our show. And just naturally allowing the show to grow into wherever it can grow into. And for me, not putting certain expectations on it and allowing it to happen naturally, I think that's what's actually making it better for us, because there was a point to where I was like trying to force things, and when you force anything in life, that shit just does not work. Nope. So as long as we stay on course, make sure we're still doing what we need to do, and things just keep happening naturally, sky's the limit for us.
Yeah, and I'm really glad to hear that, guys. But I got to be honest with you. There's a hint of me that feels just a little bit of sadness, and I'm going to explain why. Because earlier what you were saying, Dante, I totally 100% agree with what you're saying. The only problem is, the part that makes me sad is that there's been some trials and tribulations that I've gone since I started this show, and long story short, it's had to do with people that I thought that were in my corner, not as much as I was in theirs. And you see their real colors, and then afterwards you have to start over from square one. And but ultimately, I just feel like one of the things that I'm proud of myself is that I didn't let that sidetrack me. Like I still kept on going with whatever I needed to do and so on and so forth. But I'm still kind of in that space to still try to find my tribe, so to speak, if you want to call it that. But in the meantime, I just got to learn how to enjoy the journey until that moment happens. But there was a little bit of a grieving process where, it's still kind of in there a little bit. I've done a lot of, healing since then. But the fact of the matter is that like I'm glad that you guys have that approach, and I'm glad it's working for you. And I just hope that it works for somebody like me later on in the future.
And like Dante said, it was great that we are already family.
Yeah, that's true. So,
shout out to Kerm.
OG group. That's the high school group, bro.
We had this group. We still cool with everybody that was in it. we had this movement called Keeping It Real movement, and
And then the acronym KIRMs is
so
Kerm.
Kerm. So
Kerm.
and we made a pact to each other.
Some big Kerm? Sorry, I had to do it.
No, you're not. But we had made a pact to each other early on in our friendship that no matter what, even if it's shit we don't want to hear, we'll be real with each other. Now, there was a point in our lives to where it went a little bit overboard. And then people were saying shit that you should just not say to your friends.
It's like, all right, you're taking it a little too little.
All right,
now.
we got to relax
You're
a little
having
bit.
fun now. This is not helpful to anybody.
But what came from that is that now, as grown-ass men, we're able to have conversations that other people would consider to be hard. So a lot of people ask, like, how the hell are you guys still friends for so long? That would be the reason. I'm not afraid to say something to him.
Right.
He's not afraid to curse me out if need be, because he knows that, yeah, I'll probably say something stupid back, but it's never going to be to a point where I'm like, all right, well, fuck you, we not talking or whatever. I'm going to take it as constructive criticism. I know he'll do the same, and then we'll try to find a common ground to work on it. So
Yeah. Well, one thing that really helped me out, and definitely in my healing process, and I'm going to share with you guys right now, I actually posted this on Threads a while ago. I said, my therapist told me that people don't abandon the people they love. They abandon the people they're using. And that was all the closure that I needed.
that's real shit.
Yeah.
Real shit.
That's real
That's
shit.
real shit. That's real
And
shit.
it's and going back to what you were saying about, sometimes being a little bit too brutally honest or whatever, I think what I've had to realize is that I'm the type of person that even if I don't like the truth, at least it's the truth and I'm going to respect it. I may be feeling sort of way about it initially, but ultimately I can't be mad at somebody for being brutally honest with me. So the whole sugarcoating thing and like trying to be not the bad guy, this, that, and the third, I don't really fall for that. Like I tell this all the time about like when my mother, she kept on, I felt like she was kind of gaslighting me, but not intentionally, like telling me all about the things I should be about. Because, she's being a mom. She's trying to, cheer up her son and everything. But at the same time, one day I was just like, Ma, you telling me all this stuff right now is not helping me. I clearly have a problem. So I need to know what the fuck that problem is so I can solve it. How can you solve a problem if you don't know what it is? And then finally, she just let it out. I didn't like everything that she had to hear, but at least it was the truth. And like, okay, now I know what I need to fix. And, I'm not perfect. I'm a human being, but I feel like I've made so much strides since then. And I guess the point that I'm getting at is like I have to get comfortable with the fact that even though I'm a person that likes to be brutally honest, not everybody may feel the same way.
Listen, you're not living if you don't allow your shortcomings to put you in a position of growth. Like on many of episodes, I spoke about my love life up until this point. I tell shout out to Big Pooh. I tell Grace all the time, like if you were around for the shit that I went through with that. Like, I hit rock bottom. But instead of staying sunken, see what I did there?
I see.
Get out.
Instead of staying in that space, I allowed that heartache, those days of hating myself and trying to figure out why these things were happening to me to become a better person for it, to know what and what not to look for, and to do better in life, to, constantly go after the things I want. To where I'm in a place now to where, like, I don't let people mess up my peace. If someone does come into my life and they walk away, that means they wasn't supposed to be there.
Right. And I actually appreciate you saying that because you, hands down, bro, you're one of the flyest dudes I know.
I appreciate that.
Because, like, from your wardrobe and everything you have it. I remember when I came on the show, I'm like, damn, this dude is putting Pharrell to shame with the hat and everything like that. But you also, in what you were just saying right now, you were able to peel off layers of who Lashawn really is. And, so behind all of the glitz and glamour and the fashion that you portray, there's a much deeper human within there. And I'm glad that you shared that right now.
I appreciate that. And I'm happy you brought that up because, listen, style is you being comfortable. A lot of people make the mistake in trying to dress or be like what they're seeing. I wear what I like and what's comfortable to me, and I just make sure that the colors at least go together, and it works.
Gotta coordinate.
Coordinate.
and it's literally that simple. Because there was a point in my life where I would literally just walk into like H&M and tell the lady in the store, "Give me what the mannequin has." They be like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, that look nice. Give it to
That was
me."
well put together. Yeah, let me get the whole fit, top to bottom.
Like, are you sure? Yeah, just strip that motherfucker naked. That's mine. Listen,
I might have to use that.
but yeah,
What the
man.
mannequin got on? Yeah, let me get that. Let me get that in a double XL, please. Thank you.
Listen, I promise you, man. And then it got to a point where what makes you try to find your own individuality and style, once you start seeing people wearing your shit that you have on, and it's like, I don't want to be like everybody else. That was always my thing. I like individuality.
Me too. Yeah.
I'm big on it. So, like, I'm cool. I'll figure out my own way.
It's also ironic that when I started to learn how to be my own self, that's when everybody started coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah,
That's how it is.
because the weirdness attracts everybody who just follow the line. Like if everybody's following what everybody's doing, they like to see something different. They won't admit it, or they're not there. Maybe they feel like they can't be the ones who are different, or want to be labeled differently. But like Sean said, I love being different. I love the way that I think about the world, or how I view certain things, or even how I like to dress, because it's what I like.
Exactly.
And
Like, that's it.
if you're sitting around worrying about, if this person, I hope they don't think, if somebody's got to make fun of me, it wouldn't be the first person. Right. But if I'm feeling comfortable in myself, who's the joke really on? Because I'm chilling.
And that shit makes them look so dumb.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm chilling. And I'm comfortable in what I'm wearing. I'm comfortable in my own skin. So, like, joke's on you, I guess, because I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm good.
I love that.
I'm good.
Yeah. So to anybody out there that's listening and watching this right now, and we can start with you, Dante, and then we can go to you, Lashawn. For anybody that is aspiring of a dream that they have and so on and so forth, but they have the trials and tribulations that they have to go through, they have discouragement, they have fear, whatever the case may be that's stopping them, what would you say to those people that are listening and watching right now?
If I had to say anything, I'd say a phrase that I developed when I was going through a dark time in my life. Keep your dreams alive. Because at the end of the day, you're the only one who has the dreams, right? There's a phrase, if you were to die today and you had all those dreams locked away and you didn't do anything about it, they're gone. Because no one's going to dream the way that you dream. So, like, if you have something that you want to do, something you want to try, just try it. Because I promise you, most people are afraid of failure. But failure is when you stop. And if you keep dreaming, you keep going, you didn't fail. You're just trying to find another way to make the thing work that you want to do. Even if that means, I'm going to take a little break. That's fine, too. Just don't stop. Don't give yourself... Because what's going to happen is you're not going to work the same when you get older. Certain things you're not even going to be able to necessarily, some people walk the same way that you walk when you were 20, 30 years younger. Appreciate what you got. Everybody has a gift. If you haven't found what your gift is yet, just go exploring. But always remember to keep your dreams alive. If I had to say anything, it'd be that. Keep following what you want to do. Keep your dreams alive. And don't stop. Don't stop.
Show them real quick.
For me, the number one thing I found in being in my bad place was that the one thing I hated about myself at my younger self was that I wasn't doing the things that I wanted to do. I especially with women, let's just be real, call it what it is. I would get around women and then lose myself into these women. And I would become everything they wanted. And not realizing that, I was happy that I was making them happy. But ultimately, that's also plays into why they ended up doing what they did. Because in anything, women, friendships, whatever, if a person feels like they can change or control what you are, they're going to abuse it. So why not control and be what you are and control yourself? So that's what put me in the place of doing everything that I want to do. That keeps me motivated to, show up, try to be on time
One day
to the tapings, and then just ultimately trying to put myself in a position to where I'm completely at peace. So ultimately, what I'm saying is, if it's for you, and if you feel like Dante said, if you feel like it's something that you want to do, don't let nobody try to deter you off of it. Try it. If you fail, you fail. At least you can live with the fact that you gave it a shot. And knock on wood, if like Dante said earlier, if this shit don't work out, we got videos and footage for
Homie,
decades.
your beard gonna
that
come back
we-
like the Undertaker. Just shoot up in that motherfucker.
So like, and there's always something that we can look back on and laugh about and just say like, hey man, we did it. So
Round of applause, round of applause, round of applause. I really appreciate you guys sharing that. So we're about to get into 2 more segments. The first one that we're getting into right now is kind of like off the cuff, I based on the conversation we had before we started recording, and then we'll get into the final segment, which is the staple of the show. But I don't know why, but I was thinking about earlier today.
okay.
The hottest TV mothers.
Ooh.
I don't know why that came to mind,
one of
but I was
those
thinking about
random-
that,
so it's
and
one
then
of
I
those
was,
random weird
and I was
thoughts
just
we talk about.
and I was sharing it with you, and I was like, this has to be a segment real quick. So, so here's how I feel like we should do it. Top five, and then we all quintessentially do it into top 10.
Okay.
Okay,
How do you feel about that?
I like that.
that works.
Let's do
Okay,
that.
all right. I guess so. Well, we got a little bit of a head start, so I guess I'll start with
Yeah, I
you.
was gonna say,
Dante,
how y'all
Who's
go
some of your
first?
top 5s?
The crazy part is I had a head start and I'm still sitting here like, damn, I ain't got no damn top 5.
So many shows.
So many shows. So many shows.
I actually have some examples if it'll help you out.
We went through a couple of. I should have wrote them down when we was talking. That probably would
I
have
actually
helped
have
me.
one written down right now.
I'm
that I
about
can't
to
believe we
cheat.
didn't bring.
I'm about to
You
cheat.
about to cheat.
I'm about to cheat.
Because if I had to put it in a
I'll give you-
particular
I'll-
order,
you know what?
is
To help out, maybe I should give you guys my top 5 first.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Peggy Bundy,
Ooh.
Married with Children.
Ooh.
see,
Ooh.
Angie Lopez from George Lopez.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Claire Huxtable, Cosby Show.
Okay.
okay,
The first Vivian Banks from Fresh Prince.
Okay.
okay.
Some other ones I have here is like Maggie Seaver from Growing Pains, but I don't know if I put it in my top 5.
You wouldn't do that?
I don't know if I would, because there's also Gloria Delgado from Modern Family, Sofia Vergara.
Yes.
She's in my top 5. We
I know.
talked about her voice, but
Don't
Nah,
give
you're
it
right,
up
you're
yet.
right.
Don't give it up
You're
yet.
right, you're
'Cause
right.
I'm happy he went there. 'cause
Let me-
one, not her, but somebody else from Modern Family is in my top.
Let me-
Oh, I know who you're talking
I
about.
know who you're
Okay,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
There's only one other that you could be talking about. on
Shout
that
out to
show.
Claire.
I was gonna say, that's the only one you better be talking about.
Check, when we go back to Happy Madison, baby.
Now-
Happy Madison, baby.
Now, she's not in my top 5, but I guess an honorable mention you could have is Carmela Soprano.
Yes. The
Yeah.
Soprano wife?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is gonna be awkward. I've never watched this.
But she had another show when she was a nurse.
Oh, yeah, Nurse Jackie or something.
Oh,
yeah.
my God. Did you ever watch any of those episodes?
Now,
Can't say that I have.
the therapist could definitely be in the conversation, but she's not a mom. Or is she? But she wasn't one of those
No,
mothers.
she didn't have any kids.
I think she had a son, but she wasn't really like a mother figure.
When
She was-
that horrible episode, her family came around. You know what episode
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about. We're not gonna say what happened, but
Right.
yeah, she
I don't
didn't.
wanna get
She didn't have
canceled.
any kids. Yeah, she didn't have any kids.
I mean, yeah, I guess I got to go with that 5 right there.
Do you have your 5?
I got my 4.
Okay, all right. I'll jump
All
ahead.
right.
No order, no particular order.
Oh, I forgot. Lisa Landry, sister.
Oh, that's a good
Jack
one.
A.
Jack A.
Oh yeah.
All right, let me stop fucking around and get you guys to your
Yeah.
top.
No. He's gonna go because he already knows. He's gonna say Florida Evans.
It's no particular order, correct?
No,
do
no particular order.
All right, so
gonna say
I
Florida
said
Evans.
earlier, and y'all kind of didn't look at me because y'all didn't remember her.
Yeah.
Corey's mom from Boy Meets World.
Yeah, I didn't remember her.
Okay.
Yeah.
We spoke on that to the mom from Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I forget her name.
Yeah, I don't ask.
I just know she on that.
Claire from Claire from Modern Family.
Yeah.
What else we had? Moms. I'm thinking of where I'm at. I had something in my head and it fell off. Lizzie McGuire's mom.
Never saw Lizzie McGuire.
All right. Well, y'all can look that up.
Yeah.
Lizzie
I mean, if you're talking about Lizzie McGuire, I mean, especially now, you seen Hillary Duff now.
yeah, listen.
There is a God. There is a God.
Listen. Lizzie McGuire's mom, her glasses used to do it for me. And then
Okay.
I'm trying to remember the show, and she would just pop up on this damn show, and I would just be like, Jesus Christ, they know this lady is not really a mother. I'm trying to remember the show. Don't say anything. Dante, go, and I'm gonna say my show. I'm gonna remember this show.
I shouldn't have went down. There's this rabbit hole.
By the way, her name is Lois in Malcolm in the Middle.
Lois, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. And this is only because I shouldn't have looked these up. So in no particular order.
Yeah.
This is my top 5.
Yeah.
We're gonna go with Tisha Campbell from My Wife and Kids.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't give a damn what version of her. When she was bigger, when she was skinny, I don't give a damn. Tisha Campbell. I got Malcolm in the Middle mom on there.
Yeah.
Claire Huxtable. Because she was a baddie. Then we got Sophia Vergara.
Yeah.
Can't say her real name, but Gloria. Y'all know her.
Gloria, Delgado.
Then see, my last one was the problem. Hear me out.
Okay.
I have Peggy on here,
Okay.
but I remembered. This is not necessarily a sitcom that everybody would have watched, but have y'all ever seen Friday Night Lights? I know you have.
Of course.
I haven't. No.
Oh, the mom on Friday Night Lights. Dog. The coach's wife?
Is this a teacher?
The coach's, yeah.
Wait. Are you
She's in
talking
the
about
movie.
Connie?
She's in the movie. Yes.
Okay. Yes. I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
I know you're talking.
I was thinking that. I was like, yeah, I gotta throw her on there.
Oh
And
my
then-
God. Halliburton at the 2. That's what. Yeah.
And then I got
Taliban.
so that's 6. So I'm gonna put Friday Night Light Mom on there. Honorable mentions
Friday Night
though,
Light Mom.
because I don't know her real name. But
Well, her real name is Connie Britton.
There we go, Connie Britton.
Yeah, but in the show, her name was Tammy Taylor.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay,
good old Tammy.
She was also in 911.
Yes,
Smoke show.
Have y'all ever seen Gilmore Girls?
Oh, Lauren Graham.
That's
My
Graham.
Lord, that's
That's the
another
show.
one
Lauren
right
Graham.
there.
That's the show.
That's-
Because you know where she's from?
Where?
Bad
Bad
Santa.
Santa.
See, there you go. Yes,
That's the show.
Yes.
You named it. You named it. That's the show. There you go.
So I know that wasn't quite
There
5,
you go.
but I had to throw some honorable mentions in there
Yeah,
because, like,
absolutely.
yeah.
Well,
So here we go.
I will mention what's her face from Full House,
Oh, Becky.
Becky.
Oh yes,
Yes.
oh my yes. You were just talking
We were
about her,
talking
too.
about it.
Yes.
Yes, Becky.
Listen,
yes.
oh my God.
I feel bad that we didn't include Najee in this, but I think you can curse with everything we say.
Now he got his list back there. He's like, here's my 5 right here.
Najee, I think in future reference, we need to have you mic'd up for these.
Listen, they listen, it was a lot, man. Whew.
All right, so
Connie Britton, bro.
Yeah, boy. I was just thinking about it, like, yo, what was
That's her real name.
Yes. Yes. I
Dog.
love her in every season.
Dog.
Every season. That was a good one.
all right. I think we actually have top 10 right here. Actually,
Okay.
yeah. I think we could actually be in sync with everything that we're here. So we got Peggy Bundy from Married with Children, Angie Lopez from George Lopez, Claire Huxtable from The Cosby Show,
Yes.
Vivian Banks from Fresh Prince, the first one, Gloria Delgado from Modern Family, Lois from Malcolm in the Middle,
That's her name, Lois.
yeah. Janet from My Wife and Kids,
Yes.
Connie Britton from Friday Night Lights, Lauren Graham from Gilmore Girls, and Becky from Full House. I think that's the top 10 right
You
there.
put Claire on that list, right?
I did.
She gotta be number 1.
Oh,
Wait, which Claire?
he talking about
Claire
Claire
Dunphy.
from
Oh,
Claire from Modern Family. I don't know her real name.
well, that was in your top 5, but
Yeah, she gotta be number 1 on the top.
On your number
on
one.
your number 1, yeah.
Listen.
She was also Happy Gilmore.
That's the saying. You remember that scene when she was walking with the big?
Yeah.
Bro, I was like 4 when that movie came out. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. And she still. I remember that she was interviewing Method Man and was trying to flirt with him. And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God, remember that? Yeah.
I was like, Method Man wasn't like falling into it. I'm like, he was a good dude.
He was a new fool. Because I was like, oh, fell right into that trap.
Come here, girls.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
and the way she was talking, she's like, he's so fine. I'm like, oh, she with the swirl. she down with the swirl. Okay.
Honorable mention.
Okay.
I forgot. I don't know how I forgot her fine ass,
probably
but
gonna-
she wasn't a mom. We talked about it, but technically she was. Bernie Mac's wife on the
Oh,
Bernie
yes.
Mac
Oh,
show.
Keisha Pullum.
Yes,
Keisha Pullum.
Yes.
Yes.
That's an honorable mention.
Yes.
Are we counting Rachel Green?
She wasn't a mom.
She had her Emma in like season 6. She had the baby for 4 seasons.
Who's Emma Green?
Friends.
Jennifer
so yeah,
Aniston.
you lost. Oh, okay, there you go. Say that name. I don't know who. You know, I don't watch Friends.
Yeah, I can't.
So
say
I couldn't throw it in there because I never watched it.
Not to go off the rail, like, real quick.
Too late.
Our show.
Real quick. I'm sorry. I gotta get this out because I thought it was hilarious.
Okay.
There was this French comedian who was doing a bit in his stand up where in France they don't say the N word. So when they show like movies on TV, when they replace the N word with the French word for friends. So when he moved when he moved to America, he thought nigga meant friends. Oh, so he would never say the N word, but he would always say to black people, friend. He was like, "What's up, friend? What's good, my friends?"
But
He was like, "Isn't it funny the show Friends has no friends on it?" Yo, I was dying for like an hour in the car while I was watching the show. I'm like, yo, this guy's an idiot. Yo,
the friends realize there's no friends on this.
he's like, there's no friends in this show.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a glimpse of what you can expect from Educated Brothers, which is now streaming on all digital platforms.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
sir.
but before we go, I just have one final segment, and it is called. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for this or that. If you've never seen the show before, what happens is I will ask my guests multiple choice questions. There's no right or wrong answers, just what you like best. And yes, that's exactly where I got it from. It was inspired off of Black Sheep.
Ben's the black Jeep. Sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
All right. So you. All right. So you guys ready?
Ready, sir.
Are you ready, Najee? All right, he's ready. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go for this or that. We'll start with you, Dante, and then on to Lashawn.
Cool.
Playlist or podcast?
I'm gonna go with playlist.
Playlist.
Slides or Crocs?
Slides. I fucking hate Crocs.
Crocs are comfortable as shit. Well, and I'm new to the Croc wave.
To me, Crocs are like the women that are low-hanging fruit, but
Listen, listen.
Give me slides any day of the week.
You ain't on that Croc
Nope.
wave, but
I'm on that slide wave though.
I'm like a month into the Croc wave. Go ahead.
beach or pool?
Pool.
Are we talking Jersey Shore Beach?
Just in general, whatever. Like, are you a beach person or a pool person?
Beach.
All right. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Both.
Can't pick both.
Both. Shout out to Tuts.
It's not this, that, or either of them. It's this or that.
I chose this or that. I just chose this and
I was
that.
gonna say you chose this and that.
Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I'm a night owl.
Both.
Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram.
Instagram.
All right, thank you for saying that. To give or to receive?
What context are we talking?
Hey, there's kids watching.
No, I meant gifts. Both. That was going to be my answer. Both. No. If I had to be serious, giving.
Okay.
Giving.
All right. Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
See, this is the only time I have to pick both because I feel like I'm an extrovert with introvert tendencies.
I actually realized that amnivert is the definition of both.
There you
So-
go.
That's what I am.
I wouldn't say ambivert. I would have to choose which one I usually side towards more, and it's extrovert.
Yeah, I mean, you passport stamping all over the place.
Freaking weird.
Yeah. Batman or Superman?
Oh,
Shout out to SK.
he's laughing because he know what I'm gonna say if he chooses. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go with Superman.
Blue Lives Matter. Dante. I'm gonna choose the cop, Batman.
Happy Juneteenth.
That man is a cop.
Iron Man.
Flip the coals.
Iron Man or Captain America?
Ooh,
Iron Man.
ooh, Iron Man.
Okay. Are you glass half empty or glass half full?
Give me that glass half full.
Half full.
Okay. Don't you dare say both.
I was there.
Would you rather be embarrassed or be afraid?
I would rather be afraid.
Embarrassed.
Okay. Would you rather be too hot or be too cold?
I'd rather be too. Rather be too hot.
Too cold. You can always put layers on.
Facts.
Too hot. You gotta be naked.
Nope. It's on the AC. It's the first thing I thought of. Or jump in the
Bro,
pool.
the
Or
AC's
jump in the pool.
The pool's not there.
No, it's just not there.
The pool got pee in it.
What you think is at the beach?
Sharks.
Would you rather do dishes or laundry?
Dishes.
Laundry.
Do you prefer the window seat or the aisle seat?
Window. Don't say both.
I'm big, man. I don't know.
Well, I always choose the aisle because I'm a big dude and I always got to pee a lot.
Yeah,
So.
and if you know, so if you're in the aisle, you're a big dude. You're always getting bumped.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
why I picked the
but
window.
I don't know.
And then the aisle, the window seat, you're
I'd
like this.
rather be
But I'd
uncomfortable.
rather be able to do this. Because if I'm in the aisle and I do that, back of the head
See,
getting hit by the car.
you're not
Well, if
dealing
the plane
with
crash,
it.
you're
Right.
the one. Well, the plane crash, you're the first one to get hit.
Well, when you say it like that, I hope it's quick. Because I'm not giving them my window seat.
Dante said, "You want my big ass to be the question?"
Yeah. Well, I guess you just say aisle.
Ow.
Yeah. Okay. Book smart or street smart?
I'm more street smart than book smart.
Okay.
Say that. Street smart.
Okay. Do you prefer reading or writing?
Writing.
Writing for sure.
Would you rather speak every language or play every instrument?
Speak every language.
I would play every instrument.
Okay. Cardio or weights?
I'm going to go with weights.
Wait.
Yeah.
We know.
We know.
I see him. Dancing or karaoke?
I'm going to go with dancing. I'm a dancing ass nigga.
Okay.
I be dancing all the time.
I dance a lot too, but I can't sing. But I love to yell. Karaoke. Karaoke.
Drama or comedy?
Ooh. Ooh.
I'm going to go with comedy.
Okay.
Dramedy.
This guy.
Movie theater or streaming service?
Movie theater.
Movie did it for sure.
Ice water or room temperature?
Ooh.
Ice water.
Room temp for the win.
And then finally, teamwork or solo project?
I can't even say solo because I work with this guy. Nah, honestly, though, teamwork.
Okay.
Sports. Teamwork.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, teamwork makes the dream work. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this or that. That is going to do it for this episode of First Class, Second Place. Thank you to my great guests, the Educated Brothers, for coming through. Real quick, anybody you guys want to give a shout out to before we close?
My bad.
Anybody you guys want to give a shout out to before we close out?
As always, shout out our boys over there in the Kerm crew. Shout out our boy David with the beats.
No
You know what I'm
talent
saying?
beats.
No talent beats all day, every day. Shout out Bravery Studio. Shout you out, Jason, for having
you,
us
bro.
on the
Thank
show.
Shout out to Thanos.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out Thanos.
Shout out Big Pooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Rapper Big Pooh?
Those are significant others.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen,
Shout
for
out to
those-
Fonte.
We can explain it. For those that don't know, his girlfriend name is Infinity.
Yeah, so I'm
So
a big Marvel
we-
fan. In case y'all can't see, but when y'all check out the episodes, I always got something Marvel.
So we
going,
call her Thanos.
Snap of the finger, Infinity
Uh-huh.
Stones.
And, you know,
right,
my baby Grace, that's Big Pooh.
It's like, you know, when you call a big ass person tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
like that.
Yeah, she's small.
Yeah.
Big Pooh.
It's like when you say shorty, but he's like 6'7" or something.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. All right, fellas, where can they find you on social media and where can they find the podcast?
I'll start with me. You can follow me on Instagram. It's Dante B, ITSDANTEB. And the podcast page is literally all one big ass word. Educated Brothers Podcast. All one word.
Y'all can find me bigger_Sean_.
Yep. All right, fellas, thank you so much. I had a blast with you guys. Thank you again for having me on your show. Thank you guys for coming through. This has been a blast. Yeah, you guys are just more than bravery. You guys are family. So thank you again
Appreciate
for coming.
that.
Thank you for having us, bro.
Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, you can find me at I am Jason Enrique on all social media platforms. Don't forget to like, subscribe on YouTube at Jason Enrique. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next week. This has been the First Class, Second Place podcast. We out.